Welcome to Deep Thought. Gaslighting doesn't work if you know who you are. And we know about gaslighting. Somebody outside of yourself try to tell you, say, well, you're this, you're that, or this is what it is. They try and tell you your perceptions. They try and tell you about yourself. Well, you're this person or something. First of all, if somebody ever come up to you, just look them dead in the eye and say, just look them dead in the eye and say, well, if that's your perception, that's you. You know, your perception could be inaccurate. See how I bring that back around to what I did? That's you. Like, challenge them, just be like, oh, okay, you know this. So, because you know what I find interesting about gaslighting? A lot of times it comes from somebody who doesn't know you personally. Like when, I've seen this multiple times. I've experienced it and I've seen it a lot of times on social media. Somebody will say something about a person and it's like, well, do you know them? Like I'll see comments about other content creators. Definitely seen it with myself, but other content creators like, well, at the end of the day, you don't know. At the end of the day, do you know them personally? Were you there? Were you a witness to it? You don't know them. So that's why the first thing you say is, you don't know me. Like I remember this woman I dealt with way back in the day. She tried to call herself telling me about myself. And I say, you're this. She was like, you're this or that. I was like, no, you have no idea who I am. I looked at it, messed her head up too. The look on her face was priceless. She looked like I done hit her with some psychological bomb because I said you didn't. And it's funny because, well, I kept telling her she was fine and she had skills. I remember a couple years later, she was like, you know what, Rom? I had this one perception of you, but I realized I was wrong. Because what I told her is instead of trying to project something, or trying to get me to do this and that, just sit back and let me just do me. And she was like, wow. Me and her are still cool to this day, though. Me and her are still cool to this day when she let that stuff go. But the thing was, I know who I was. And as you know, if somebody try to gaslight you, it can't work if you know who you are. In ancient Kemet, or as popularly known, Egypt, they called it Kemet back in the day. But, a major thing was know thyself. That's the most important thing. Don't allow somebody else to tell you who you are. Now, they can give you their perception of you. And even something like the IQ test or even something like astrology, yeah, it can tell you its perception or this information, or they can say, well, you were born on this day, this, and this. And they might have some accuracies, maybe not. A lot of that stuff is general. But on a deep level, it's really about knowing who you are, knowing what you like. You know what food you like. You know what you like to do. Because, see, here's the issue. If you allow somebody else to define you, if you allow them to define you, all of a sudden, then you going according to their schedule, what they want. You ultimately letting them control you. Now, you can take their advice, you can take in their perspective and say, oh, they see me this way, okay. But that's not who I am. Unless they are accurate. But even then, the only way to know if they're accurate is to know yourself. You got to know yourself. You got to say, hold up, this is what I'm about. And one issue that can happen there is a lot of people lie to themselves. They lie to themselves. It's unfortunate, but they lie to themselves about who they are because they don't want to face the truth of it. But you have to face the truth of who you are in order to have some power going through the world, in order to know what you're capable of doing, in order to know what you're standing for. And you got to stand on it. Because even when a gaslighter comes, I'm going to tell you something I found with gaslighters. If you let them know that you ain't fazed by what they're saying, especially when most of the time it's going to be inaccurate, Oh, I've seen it just I've seen it jack them up. They be like, what? You be like, yeah, whatever. Seriously, it scares them. It scares them because then it's like, because let's be real, gaslighting is used as a tool of psychological warfare. You know? That's what sometimes people say, well, I'm roasting them. They trying to break them down. But then if you looking at them like, yeah, okay, if you think that, if that helps you, shoot, actually you turning it on them. It's kind of like conversational kung fu, psychological kung fu. Like they coming at you, but then it messed them up. Because then they feeling uncomfortable. See, if a person trying to gaslight you, they trying to do it for their own comfort. Their own comfort, their own sense of superiority. Because usually even if they trying to figure you out, then it might be something about you that's triggering them. So what they're trying to do is get some control over it and feel like, yeah, I know them. It was like, like I said, somebody ever come at you, only time you might pay attention if it's an intimate partner. And even then, it's still their perception. But a lot of times it's not. A lot of times it is not. And there's a time that it is, and I'll get into that in a second. But a lot of times it's not. A lot of times it's just, they're going to try to come at you in every way, and then you just hit them with something. You hit them with something, Like, I don't know. It make them uncomfortable. If you get twisted about it, do something vicious. And when I say vicious, like just do something that they just didn't see. And then just say, it didn't let them know. It was like, oh, no. If you think that, okay. Kind of messes with them. But I'm going to tell you what now. I said I was going to touch on that thing when it's an intimate partner. Unfortunately, a lot of people, if they're being emotionally abused, they're being gaslit. Because you have some men, but also some women. They'll gaslight their partner just to keep them under control, keep them, whatever they want. Like a woman might gaslight a man just to keep that money flowing, keep him under tow. And a man might gaslight a woman, to keep the pussy flowing, because you got some players out there like that, some dark side players. They'll keep that woman feeling insecure about herself, everything, but knowing as a result of it, she's gonna keep sucking his dick. Yeah, I'm gonna get a raw with it. No, that's how deep it is, though, Because you get some people, there's a significant part of the population, that is masochistic. They don't feel good about themselves. So you might get a gaslighter who feeds into that. Say, yeah, you're this and that. And of course, the person being gaslit will probably feel like, oh, I got to prove myself to this person. Meanwhile, the person is probably laughing their ass off. That's how deep it is. So, but the ultimate thing is being strong within yourself, knowing yourself, knowing the truth about yourself. And the only way to know the truth, you got to be honest. You have to be honest, right? And then if somebody, because sometimes you get some person, they try to insist, they come at you raw. Then this is how you turn it on them. Let me give you a secret how to turn it on them. Just say, wow, you're really that insecure. I didn't realize that. I'm really triggering you. I'm sorry. And then be real calm about it. Then it fucks with their heads. Oh, man. You know what's going to be funny? I know some people they're going to be trying to study and say, Rom, get that diabolical side. I don't know. Might have a little Isu in me. Anyway, that's all I got, though. That's all I got. That's all I got for today. Hey, y'all have a good weekend, and this will be up. And I'm still laughing because I know all the videos this week I recorded them like same time. That's why I don't change the shirt. But I'm still laughing. I had to re-record everything. and I'm gonna tell you, let me hit y'all with some deepness on that. You can't get upset. I could have got upset like, oh, it's like, oh well, oh well. And honestly, I'm gonna be real. I think the second set of recordings for this week, the second set, are actually better than what I was going to put out. That's why I laugh about it, because it's usually a good thing. Oh, my experience been, if I got to re-record something, the second video, the re-recording is always better. So, and I think my energy was totally different from what I was doing before. Totally different. So, because the first time I went through this whole set, it was like, now I'm like sitting back, like kind of relaxed and everything. So it is what it is. And that's a lesson too. Ain't nothing wrong with starting over and doing something over. Nothing wrong with it. Because it's actually a better thing sometimes. So anyway, y'all have a great weekend, and y'all hear from me on Sunday. Yeah, that video's still good on Sunday. Anyway, I'll talk to y'all.